Bregman
Right.
is fifth in fielding percentage for all third basemen in MLB in 2022, 2023, and last season, 2024. Fielding percentage alone, Rafael Devers is last, 958 fielding percentage. And Trav, this is for a team that has been bad defensively the last few years. This is for a team, fielding percentage wise, ranked 29th out of 30th in MLB this last season. And Rafael
Yep.
Devers, it's not the flashy plays. He has the arm strength. He can make the throws from third. It
Yeah.
is the fielding errors that we've seen consistently, where Bregman simply has the higher floor than Rafael Devers when it comes to it defensively in the hot corner. So that's why there's that natural threat of, well, Bregman could play third. And Rafi, the best part of your game is your bat. And we can still make that happen. So that's where you hear an Alex Bregman go, you need me to fill up the water cooler, you need me to paint your fence, walk your dog, do your homework, and play second base. I'll do it all. You let me know. That's what you want. And that's also, we heard the quotes from Craig Breslow, Alex Cora, the introductory presser. This is a leader. This is a winner. This is a high character guy. This is someone this clubhouse needed. And it's not just for the team now. It's not just for making the defense better. It is for the Jarren Durans, the Tristan Casas's, the Kristian Campbells, the Marcelo Myers, the Roman Anthony's, for them to learn around an Alex Bregman.
But I will also say this. If you get the best version of Rafi with this Sox team this season, and he too stays healthy, I mean, this team, there's no doubt about it. We've talked about and speculated, we think they'll be a playoff team. George, if I can get those two things to happen, Trevor Story to stay healthy and Rafi to give me the best version of himself because he has something to prove, I'm one of the best third basemen in the game, great. That will be a playoff season, no doubt about it, for the Red Sox. Would you agree with that?
Hey, tack on to that. Yes, I can't disagree with that. If this lights a fire under Rafi Devers and he comes in very locked in at third base, then the versatility of this team takes over. Because, all right, let's think about it like this. The Red Sox signed someone that is a better third baseman, fielding percentage-wise, than Rafael Devers. The numbers back it up. If that fires up Rafael Devers and he becomes a better third baseman and a hitter and is just more available all around and can be healthier throughout the season, okay, that's a win. Trevor Story, he's PO'd and he's fired up because he wants to stay healthy. He was signed to a lot of money. That guy wants to play baseball. He's pissed off because he hasn't been healthy the last few seasons, and the Red Sox have invested a lot in him, especially at the shortstop position. Okay, he's fired up. He's locked in. He's dialed in. Alex Bregman is too. Sure, he got 3 years, $120 million. He was disrespected in free agency. He wanted 6 years, $200 million total. The best he got was $171. And what you have right now is a guy that has opt-outs after year 1 and year 2, which is basically go make your money with the Sox, go prove yourself as a great player once again, opt out, and then get paid by another team. So you have Bregman, Story, Rafael Devers, your 3 most experienced players in your lineup, all fired up, all motivated, all with the fire lit under them coming into this season. That's what you want. And then the rest of the guys follow suit. So that's one thing I can't disagree. Hey, if this lit up Rafael Devers and got him to wake up a little more and needs to be more for the team, then cool. But I'll give you, and we'll get into it. Let's give our lineups. Sure. I'll get into why I like Bregman at third, but we'll get to the lineups. And it's beyond the fielding percentage numbers as well.
Okay, so George and I will give you our projected lineups, but that's just George and I. We want to hear from you. Can you get in here and party with us? Please email us, thechat@nesson.com. You can also tweet at us as well using the hashtag NessonChat. All right, George, you go ahead and lead us off here. Let's go your defensive starting lineup. You already gave me a spoiler alert. It sounds like you're making a change at third, huh?
Look, so let's start at the catcher. It's Connor Wong. He's nails back there. Super smart. He's good. First base, you stick with Tristan Casas. Can he be healthy? You hope so. I'm projecting the best defensive lineup in the season at the peak of this Red Sox entire lineup with the call-up. So that's why I have Kristian Campbell at second base. Look, he could play in the outfield. He could play short, good righty bat, but profile's best at second base. That's where he's played the most in the minors and where he played the most when he was in college at Georgia Tech. He has a lot of experience at second. So at third base, I have Alex Bregman for the simplicity of this is my highest defensive floor defensively. Trevor Story healthy is at short. Then in left field, Jarren Duran. Center field, my Gold Glover and Ceddane Rafaela. And then in right field, again, a guy coming up making his MLB debut, Roman, Anthony, and right. Now, Roman Anthony could be in left. You shift Jarren Duran to center. If Trevor Story needs a day off, Ceddane Rafaela comes to short. If Kristian Campbell needs a day off, Bregman to second, Devers to third, out of the DH spot. You notice that in the bottom right-hand corner if you guys are watching. But again, I'm going for the highest defensive floor for a team that's been 500 the last 2 seasons. You need to win within the margins. You can't look at me and go, well, does Rafael Devers' defense at third really matter that much? It does. This team hasn't been making the postseason. It matters for a team that was second to last in MLB in defense last season. And Devers, out of the starting defenders, had the lowest fielding percentage. I hate to keep going back to a stat, but it's the eye test of the fielding errors, and it's literally the numbers showing you as well. You bring in an Alex Bregman, you call up a Kristian Campbell when he's ready. That lifts up the entire defense, the entire lineup, and it lifts up the floor of this team where 81 and 81 all of a sudden becomes 90 wins, and all of a sudden becomes a wild card berth into the postseason.
No doubt. You make a great case, okay? But this is why this show is great, and this is why we ask the fans to get involved, because there's going to be a number of fans that agree with that lineup you just put out. I don't necessarily disagree, George. I think we could maybe eventually get to that. I'm going opening day here. This is what I think we're going to see, and I'm kind of sticking with the status quo. And I believe there's probably a faction of this fan base that feels the way that I do here. So I'm going to stick with Rafi at third base, because the beauty of baseball season in this case is if it's not working, okay, you have the versatility in the infield here where you can move things around, and you can move Rafi to DH, no problem. You can move Bregman over to third base, no problem. But for now, to keep things flowing, to keep guys happy, to hopefully get this best version of Rafi on the hot corner, I'll put him at third base. I have Story at shortstop, of course. A willing and open to playing second base Bregman. I have no doubt he'll be stellar at second base. Cassis at first. I'm with you with Crochet. Wong at catcher. Pretty much everything else I think I match up with you, including Anthony out there in right field. But I agree with you with his versatility. Being able to move him around as clutch as it gets. And then I do have Yoshida at my DH, and I'm hoping that, at some point he has a big season. I really, George, believe, and we'll get into the offense of this year, but I really believe Yoshida may benefit from a lot of these moves that the Red Sox have made. It's going to take less pressure off of him, and maybe in that DH spot, taking some off of his plate, he can now deliver or maybe over-deliver. So give me your lineup in terms of the batters, George.
Yeah, so my leadoff hitter, I'm going to stick with Jarren Duran. I mean, this is a guy that's going to be he could be in the 20-30 club, 20 home runs, 30 stolen bases. And what's most important, if he's hitting line drives, like singles are not singles for him, they are doubles. And then a double becomes a triple essentially because of all the stolen bags. So I'm going Jarren Duran 1, Rafael Devers 2, because now your best hitters actually like hitting in the 2 spot. Don't believe me? Go ask Lou Merloni on 310 to left. 3 spot, Alex Bregman. 4 is Tristan Casas. Can we get him healthy? 5 is Trevor Story. 6, again, this is my best lineup. So it's going with my defense. Kristian Campbell 6th, Connor Wong 7th, Roman Anthony 8th, Ceddane Rafaela batting 9th. That's what I'm looking at when it comes to a DH, and this is also the flexibility of it all as well. So can we see where it all works in one? And the big thing with that is what you have at first base is Jarren Duran. And this is what's interesting with the lineup, because the Red Sox needed that righty bat. Jarren Duran lefty, Rafael Devers lefty, then Bregman a righty, then you go back to Casas a lefty. 4 of my last 5 hitters in my projected lineup, those are righties. So where does this all come into, and how can it work? Can a Willie Abreu help alleviate that? But also it's the same thing of just the flexibility within it all. And it's also just when you look at it defensively and in the lineup, looking down at my notes, you can have Casas and Devers at first. Second base can be Kristian Campbell, Vaughn Grissom, Alex Bregman. Third base could be Rafael Devers, Alex Bregman, Marcelo Meyer. We haven't mentioned him yet, but he could also be a shortstop with Trevor Story. So could Alex Bregman. So could Ceddane Rafaela. Left field, Jarren Duran, Roman Anthony. Then Jarren Duran goes to center. You give Rafael the day off, or if he has to play short, boom, 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 flexibility. Then in right field, that's Willie Abreu, Roman Anthony. What I like with both our lineups, and just looking at the defense, you'll get into your batting lineup.
Yeah.
There's no pressure on Kristian Campbell. There's no pressure on Roman Anthony. There's no pressure on Marcelo Meyer.